What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Tour Life. You got myself and Uli as always. We're going to be breaking out some stuff this week. Not that much went down in the disc golf world, but we had some people right here at Foundation bust some news. So we're going to be talking about that. It is October 25th, ladies and gentlemen. I think officially the first week of the off season, Uli?
I think so. I think you're right about that. I mean, it should the week after the Pro Tour events, the first week of the off season. Like everything's done.
Second week. Okay.
But then maybe people are still driving home and they need to drive all the way across the country, so they're still doing stuff along the way. And then maybe this is their first time like chilling and being like, but there's also grinders out there who are still playing tournaments.
Yeah, your boy. I've got a tournament this week I'm going to talk to you about in a second. But
Halloween classic.
No, I wish. Today, we're going to be talking about the Grippies. If you don't know what that is, I highly suggest you go over and check out Grip Locked with Hunter and Trevor. It is the second annual Grippies. They go through a huge award show and give off a bunch of awards. We're going to go.
Lost ya. Welcome to Tour Life, where we never get it right.
We're back, baby. Well, when I get into studio, I have to remember that this is a very high-tech microphone that is touch, and I like to touch my mic. So I need like what is it, like Prince? Did Prince have one of those like mic stands? Was he,
Probably.
or was that Aerosmith? He was a big mic stand guy with like the what was that? Satchel? I don't know. We're getting off topic. We're going to be talking about the grip. We're going to be talking about the Grippies. We're going to see what did they get right? What did they get wrong? Also, Hunter had a tough week. A couple potential posts that people are trying to cancel him over. So we're going to get into that. Okay. Prodigy signed a huge multi-year licensing deal. We want to talk about what the flip is going on over there. And then the Disc Golf Pro Tour Europe. Yes, the fancy name was announced. So we're going to give all the information. We've got listener questions, and we got some good ones at the very, very end. So stay tuned for that. But how was your week, Uli? What have you been up to?
Shoot, what did my week consist? Man, you know what? Not much, man. I did a few lessons. Over the weekend, what did I do? I hung out with some family.
Nice.
Played some golf, I think, on Sunday. Watched football.
Jealous.
And then my mom's making funny faces at me right now, actually, trying to get me to laugh on. You can't do it, Mom. I'm a locked box.
Tell her this is a professional podcast.
This is a professional podcast. You're not getting me to slip. This week though, a couple lessons. I did 3 lessons. I did some filming with Ezra. Actually, I have a really cool video coming out very soon. And be on the lookout for that on my YouTube channel. I'm going to start that up again. So that's something I got going on.
Love that.
Now that's the off season. It's hard to do content in the season unless you're going to be doing like practice rounds or vlogs or something like that. So I did a couple this year, but not as much as I'd like. I'm going to try to ease into the YouTube again in the off season just so I can do Vlogmas, which is something that I actually really enjoyed last year and the year before. I think I only did it 1 year. I don't know. Anyway, that's something that I did. But guess what, dude? Next week. Well, a week and 3 days, I get married. So
I know.
That's going to be cray-cray.
I don't think I can go to the wedding, brother.
Yeah, well, you got to go to that football game.
I know. I got to root on the freaking misses.
To skip a wedding for a football game.
Yeah, but I'll make it up to you. You got to do a little Vegas trip. I'll make it up to you. Come out to Vegas. I'll take you out to bingo. I'll take you out to a nice all-you-can-eat sushi. What did I do this week? Well, the big thing was I made the decision, call me crazy, that I am not going to fly out to Vegas. I am going to drive out to Vegas.
Oh, boy.
17 hours from Dallas. By the way, I'm not in Dallas. I'm in Lynchburg, which is 13 hours from Dallas. So in the next 2 weeks, I think I'm driving 30 hours, which is okay because I have the audiobook Silo. Have you watched that yet on Apple Plus? Silo.
Let me see. Probably.
You and the missus need to check it out. It is incredible. Very, very good show. But I will be driving because I literally have nothing out in Vegas. And we have a golf trip coming up. And Kelsey's like, oh, yeah, just like bring my clubs. And I'm like, how am I bringing my clubs and your clubs? And like, I don't own any clothes out here. Like, I have so much stuff I need. So I was like, please, please, please let me drive the car. We already have our other 2 cars out there. So that's why she really didn't want the 3rd car out there. But I'm telling her, I'm like, listen, this is the play. So we're going to throw a bunch of stuff up there. That'll be good. I had Tech Disc and what's the net company? I'm blanking out. Visionary. Is that their?
Yeah.
I had both of them send me some stuff. So I've got a net set up in my living room with the Tech Disc. So I've been messing around with that inside, which has been nice. Been playing a decent amount of disc golf as well. We went to a Mongolian hot pot, I think is what it's called. So you basically have like little parts of the table where they can set pots and they can heat up. And then you drop your food and stuff in it and it can cook. It was pretty nice. It was one of the conveyor belt ones too. So you sit right by a conveyor belt and the people in the back just constantly put stuff and it goes right by you. So you can kind of see it and just like grab it and throw it in your pot. It was very, very nice.
You can let it go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We let it. I mean, half the stuff I have no idea what it was. So I was like, I'm not throwing that in my pot, but it was nice. It was a nice little time. Good little hangout session. Kelsey is preparing to try to dance in the halftime show of the Super Bowl. They're looking for dancers, and so we'll see.
Here's the thing. I probably should be at the Super Bowl. I'm gonna throw my.
Is that because you think the Steelers are going to be there? Because they're not. They're not.
No, that's not. No. I just want to go to the Super Bowl.
Oh,
and if she's going to dance in the Super Bowl, you're getting tickets to the Super Bowl, and I'm throwing my name into the hat to want to be at the Super Bowl as well.
If you want to be a part of it, that is fine.
Is that what you're asking for me to dance?
No, please, no dancing. No, if you want to be a part of it, me and my buddy are right now waiting because right now they're just doing package deals because they want to get people from out of town in, right? They don't want locals there. They want the money coming out of Vegas into Vegas. Yeah. So as soon as we can somehow figure out tickets, if you're interested, maybe we can get it. I don't think that's how Super Bowls work, but I can let you know the prices of what tickets are. And if you're interested, we can get tickets all together. That could be fun.
That'd be dope. I'm in.
All right, let's jump into
could do it. Dude, Steelers could do it.
No, stop that. Yeah. Stop that.
Oh, dude, I can see it. Before
we get to our first topic, Patreon, real quick. Patreon is giving away. We set up something. You get like I think it's a week. Is it a week free, Silas, or a month free? A month free. Okay, you get a month free to check it out. I just filmed a video at New London, which will be one of the world's courses next year. So if you're interested, patreon.com/foundation disc golf. Check it out. A bunch of stuff on over there. And also, obviously, shout out to the Tour Life crew that support the show right here. And those are the people in the chat. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, first topic for today. Did you see this post that Foundation made on their Instagram?
Yeah, I did. I saw that going around. I saw it on shares of other people being like, "What the heck is this?"
Everywhere. Okay, so what this is, it's a post of Calvin Heimberg with Hunter Thomas is underneath, and the quote is, "There's two things in disc golf right now that I think are pretty certain. One is Kristen Tatar wins. Two is Calvin Heimberg doesn't." Now, the majority of the people that saw this That's where it stopped. The reading stopped right there. If you keep going down a little bit, it says Hunter Thomas, and then in super fine print, when discussing Calvin's chances at the MVP Open. So he was just saying that he thinks Krista Tatar is going to win the MVP Open and how Calvin Heimberg isn't going to win. But no one read the fine print. And so everyone thought he was just slamming Calvin for not being a winner. And they're like, oh, Calvin won already so many times. What were your initial thoughts when you saw this?
I didn't know that. I didn't read the fine print, but
no one did.
But I definitely was like, dang, that's a hot take right there, buddy. That is a hot take. There's a lot of people out there that just, and Calvin's kind of good, dude. But here's the thing, Brodie, here's the thing. There's kind of why it went so viral is because there's kind of a point to that.
Some people are thinking about it. Yeah.
There's kind of a little point to that, to where, listen, for how many times Calvin finished in the top 5, he lost a lot for being in contention that many times. Let me ask you this. This is just talking on tour life, okay? This isn't me throwing shade at Calvin. I love the dude, and he's the best disc golfer on the planet. Now, if you put Ricky Wysocki in the same positions that Calvin was in throughout the entire year, do you think Ricky would have won more tournaments? Asking.
So you're saying like Ricky just jumps in like the final 9 holes?
Yes.
Of these. Yeah, it's an interesting question. It's one that is a puzzling one too, right? Because we have seen him win. It's not just like he can't get over the hump. We have seen him win, and we have seen him do things that, you know, I go back to the USDGC round where he's in the rain. We've seen him do things where we're just like, holy cow, this guy's on another level. But yes, there is an underlying issue of like, why is he not winning more
when you're that consistent?
Yeah, you have so many chances.
Who's the second most consistent disc golfer on the planet? It's Isaac
right now.
It's Isaac.
I think it's Isaac. Yeah.
Did he win
2
more
majors?
Or less?
Yeah. He won
less.
more. Did he?
He only won 2 majors. 2 majors, and then what?
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Gannon technically won more, but still verse included.
So it's a weird thing to think about, because our 2 best players, like you think about Isaac as this great winner, but he won less because they're majors. And then you think of Calvin and you're like, man, he should have won a bunch. But the 2 most consistent players on the planet actually won less than everybody. Gannon won more than anybody. Right? Gannon had the most wins.
I think that might be the only one. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is hard to win. And I think right now disc golf's in a weird media mode right now, because in the past all the media has either been owned by the same people that kind of want to give out the same narrative, or everyone is like buddy and is like, you know, they get someone on their show, and so they just want to be super friendly. And I think we're starting to see a different side of media, which is media that you see in every sports. If you turn on your TV or you turn on your radio in Pittsburgh going to work on a Monday morning after a loss, the stuff they say is ridiculous. The things that people call in is ridiculous. Yeah. And so we're just starting to get little pieces of that. And I think it's just a shell shock for some to see certain things said about certain people, like, oh, he's such a nice guy. Yeah. And it's like, this has nothing to do about being nice. This has to do with, we're just looking at facts. We're just saying opinions. Yeah.
Here's the thing on tour, as of right now in this world, if you win multiple times, you're a boss, dude.
Oh, yes.
You're an absolute killer. How many people won twice?
It's getting harder and harder to win just one, right? And we saw a little, like with Parker Welk last year, we saw a little bit of like, holy smokes, where'd this guy come from? We almost saw it with other people as well, though. Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it again next year at, you know, I'm not saying every event, but maybe 2 or 3 events get stolen away from someone that you just have no idea, right? And so it's just the opportunities are getting smaller and smaller for everyone. Hunter did not stop there, though.
Oh, boy.
there was a reason why I said he had a tough week, is because that was a few days ago. But in Grip Locked, when he was doing the Grippies, he made this statement, and I get his side a little bit of him being like, well, I was confused, and no one was saying, but he made the statement that if you DNF at a tournament, your cash streak doesn't get erased. And that's just blatantly false. Like, if you enter a tournament and you don't finish the tournament, your cash streak is gone. All streaks are gone. Whatever you had going in are gone.
Yeah.
You're done. And he was just baffled by that. And so he was getting slammed in the YouTube comments. And I'll tell you one thing, Hunter can take it really well. And he needs to be able to do it, because the position that him and Trevor are in, where they're talking every week, hours upon hours, posting stuff about disc golf, you're bound to say, I mean, me and you probably say countless stupid things on here every once in a while. And so he can take it on the chin, which is good, because otherwise I think he would just be like going home and like sitting in a closet looking at himself in the mirror and contemplating life. But yeah, that was a tough take of the DNFs thing, trying to say that your cash streak continues if you decide to DNF when you're in 78th place with 3 holes left. What's that?
Silly thing to say. Yeah.
A little silly. All right. Moving on. Prodigy. Did you hear this announcement with Prodigy in the NHL? I'm a little confused about how this came about, but it's kind of dope. So Prodigy is proud to announce a multi-year licensing agreement with the National Hockey League to become the first disc golf partner of the NHL. Prodigy will produce and market an exclusive range of licensed products featuring the NHL Shield and all 32 team marks in Canada and the United States, including a unique and exciting line of branded discs for fans of both sports, which will see passion carry over from the rink to the course. Fans will now be able to throw some of their favorite Prodigy discs while supporting their favorite teams. So when this first happened, I was kind of like, what? Like, hockey and disc golf? What's going on?
That's cool.
But the more I think about it, like, I'm not a hockey fan, so I have to kind of like remove that, right? Because like when I first saw it, I was like, this is whatever, but I'm not a hockey fan. So I have to like put myself in, like, what if it was like college football and they got the licensing agreement for like the SEC, and now Discraft can make like University of Florida Gators football. Like, that would be absolutely sick. That would be so sick. I would love that. So I think this is a great thing. I think this is an incredible thing for disc golf.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, Coyotes are kind of nice. Worst stadium, worst team in the NHL, man. Bummer. My team suck, dude.
Are you gonna pick up some swag though?
I can. Maybe
just to have, maybe on the wall.
Maybe put it on the wall.
Be kind of cool. I think this would be it's gonna be really interesting to kind of see how these things sell, right? Because I don't know how the NHL is going to get involved. Like, it'd be sick if the NHL was like, hey, we're gonna sell these in our team stores. Like, I don't know if they have any plans of doing that.
A dual athlete commercial.
Who knows? But it will be interesting to see how this goes. And I think this is it's just a good exposure thing for disc golf. Yeah. There were some people complaining. I had a couple people DM me and tweet me about some people complaining that disc golf is like going after a certain market, and that should be troublesome, or like we should be worried about that. And it's like, bro, like any company, they're going to look at where they can reach people that have the best likelihood of enjoying their product. Yeah. That makes a whole lot of sense. And if they decide that the NHL has a decent crossover, then that's smart on the disc on the Prodigy side, right? That's smart. So
maybe you could use the disc like a little mini as the puck. Bink.
Ooh,
kind of cool.
You could
like a mini puck. Like, that's your mini puck with the little logo on there.
It'll be interesting to see how, like, what all transpires. But if it is,
did I just give them the best idea ever?
You might have. You might have. But if it ends up just being them selling discs with like the team's logos and stuff on it, really, and that's cool all still. It is, that's still very, very cool. Very, very really cool.
I like that.
The Bogey Bros played Memorial. They finally posted the video of them going out there and playing it. And I have when I was watching it, I thought of something. I wanted to hear what you think. Memorial got a lot of flack. Mm-hmm. People got tired of watching it. Heiser Fest. The tour has grown out of it, which I agree with a lot of those things. And ultimately, I don't think we're back at Memorial because they weren't able to actually shut down the park. I think that is the main reason. But let's remove that out of the equation. And let's just talk about a course that people got tired of watching. I think the Las Vegas Challenge kind of fits in this too, right? People just kind of get tired of watching that every year. So my question is, what happens if the tour goes away from a tournament, a course, for a few years and then comes back? Like, what if Memorial was on the schedule next year? And maybe they spice it up, right? Maybe they add OB, maybe they lengthen some holes, they make it a little bit harder, whatever. Do you think there would be buzz around that course because people haven't seen it in so long?
I think part of the reason why courses are tough to watch is the way that it's filmed, not necessarily the shots that are being thrown. Like if you go to the Memorial right now with all the Mandos and everything that's up there, like it's a tough course to score on. They've added a lot of things, but it's really tough to film like exactly what the player is trying to throw. As far as like, it's not aesthetically pleasing as well. Like it's not beautiful.
The fountain?
Vista.
Oh, you're talking about Vista. Oh yeah, no. I'm not talking about Vista. I'm talking about Fountain Hills. Yeah,
but
Vista.
It's both. The Memorial is both, and so that's what's important. There's two rounds. I kind of forgot about Vista. Vista is like such a tough sell for me because of like it's like the color of my arm. It's just that's the grass color everywhere.
I'm upset that you have reminded me of Vista now, because I was like in a happy place thinking about Fountain Hills.
Going back to Fountain.
And now you have put Vista in my head. And now it's completely squashed my entire idea of having Memorial back on tour. Yeah, Vista's not a no. No.
But hear me out. I still think you could do it. It just has to be filmed in the correct way. I really do. I think that I think it's possible. I just think that the way that disc golf is being filmed right now, with shot, catch cam, you have no clue what's going on. None, zero. Yeah. In order to like you and I agree that Mandos are fine, right?
Yep, I like Mandos.
And I've said this before, and I get a lot of flack. But imagine like triple Mandos in places like that that are like advertisements, like big advertisements. I'm serious.
No, I know. This is the take that you have that I feel like a lot of people just don't like.
They don't like because it's not. But first of all, we've never done it, so you can't like something that hasn't been filmed properly.
So you're talking about like having inflatables though in the middle of fairways.
Yeah, I am. It sounds funny, but now take a second to think about what it would look like on film if I throw and we actually film it correctly to where my disc is going towards, say, inflatable that doesn't look hideous. It's just an inflatable with whatever's on there, and I'm trying to get through it. It's the same thing as like what I picture is like when you're racing the boat races, remote control boats.
Okay.
And they're trying to go through the things, and that's how you get a reference of how good these players are.
That's a better analogy, because when you just say inflatable, I'm thinking of like little Timmy in the backyard on a bouncy house, and we're like throwing through the dragon's mouth.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like that's what giving I'm thinking. A reference point of exactly the controller, what he's trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, we can't plant trees. That is our big problem. If we could plant trees, we could make courses really cool.
Now, if we have these inflatables, these bouncy houses, the viewer automatically knows what the thrower's trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. Otherwise, they have no clue. They don't know the shape. They don't know anything about anything. Nothing. It's just watching the disc. Here's catch cam. Here comes the disc. Wow, great shot. You have no clue unless you've been there and you've seen it. A 400-foot hyzer looks the same as a 350 hyzer. It really does.
You're talking about now like the people at home watching. You're not talking about the people in person watching because they can see what's going on.
The most important people in this whole situation to make the game grow is at home. I'm sorry, but that's sure in person they see it. They see Eagle throw a 500-foot hyzer and they're like, "What the heck was that?" Now at home, they don't see that. They have no clue. They're watching, here's the shot, here's catch cam, nice. Oh, he just made a 30-footer, really cool. Those guys are good. Vista's boring.
You know what would be sick to have? Have a microphone pointed up about 15, 20 feet in front of the player, because the noise that a disc makes when it's thrown hard is sick. Because like we
don't mind that.
I honestly think we are missing something with like the golf swing and like the sound of contact.
Brodie, this might be your best take ever.
We don't have anything like that. So what if we started incorporating the?
Dude, that's the first time. That's the first time you said something to me, and I was like, "Holy cow, dude!"
That might be something.
I think that's something.
Because there's a couple times where when Judah was filming for us, he would go like down the fairway and we would throw like right by him. And so you could hear the noise of the disc. And people were like, that is so sick. We should be doing that. Let's get some microphones. Let's get some live mics.
And then we put mics on my little inflatables so that when it hits it, boink. It's like a boink. No, I'm just kidding.
Can you hear the squeakiness of my chair, by the way?
No, can't.
Okay, it's very squeaky. This thing needs some WD-40. All right, let's move on.
All right.
First signing has been announced. If you remember a few weeks ago, it might have been Carter Ahern. Is it Ahern or Aherns?
Aryans.
Wow. Way off.
I think. I might be off. I don't know. I hope I'm not. Arian.
Ahern?
Arian. Sounds like Arian.
I used to play tennis back in the day with a Nate Ahern, and he spelled it Ahern. There's a what? So it's Aherns or Aryans?
It's one of those two. Let's combine.
See, I just had a friend. that was called
Let's
Aherns.
get past it. We're just making
Someone
it
said Aherns in the chat. So Carter Aherns. If you remember that post that came out that sounded like an obituary for him, he did not actually. He's still alive. He's still doing well, and he actually is signed with Lone Star. Yep. So he is moved on to the Lone Star. There's something about the plastic. It's all about the plastic. I'm here for the plastic. He is the first big signing, I guess you could say, of this offseason. We'll keep you guys up to date when we hear anything.
Kid's a beast too, man. The kid rips.
He also got very close a couple times, right? He got very close to winning a couple times. Kind of sneaky.
Yeah.
All right. I had a tweet go out this week, and you already know people were buzzing with this tweet. And I want to bring up the actual photo and talk about it a little bit because, again, I think Twitter, people got it, right? My caption, the photo, I think people got it. But it got shared on some other things, and I think people kind of lost what I was talking about. So this was my tweet. It's a photo of all the Disc Golf Pro Tour events and all the majors in all the playoff events. As of right now, this is all we knew. We're gonna get to Europe in a second, but this is all we knew. And my tweet said the 2024 schedule looks crazy. Everything in color are important events. So I have Disc Golf Pro Tour Plus in blue. I have the majors in red, and in pink are the playoff events.
Okay.
And I said, the season is so backloaded. Another thing to note is how long the season is. We start in February and end in November. I would love to shorten the season by compacting the tournaments and having off weeks after 3 or 4 weeks of tournaments in a row. So my main points that I was trying to make by this is, if you look at it, in the first, we play 13 events, Uli, before we get to the first major. Then after that first major, we play only 2 events that aren't majors or Disc Golf Pro Tour Plus, or sorry, we play only 1 event. Excuse me. We play only 1 event after the first major that aren't Disc Golf Pro Tour Plus, playoffs, or majors themselves. That's wild.
Yeah.
That is wild.
I had a similar take, honestly, when I looked at the schedule, to where I was like, why is everything at the end? Why are they doing this to us again? I feel like it was already bad and they made it even worse. Part of it is because of the whole thing with Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
They had to move it.
It still would be bad, though. It would be better, obviously, if we had Champions Cup earlier than in November. A little better, but still, we would still have a lot of events early. Yeah. The other thing, okay, so that was the backloading. The other thing I mentioned was just the length of the actual season. We start in February, we end in November. So if you're looking at someone that has an off season, right, you're looking at end of November, December, January, and then you're right back at it, which I would be okay with if our season was that long. Like, if it was like, holy cow, like, that's just how it is, man. You play 158 tournaments or whatever it is, right? You're just out there. Let me just talk to you real quick. After Music City Open, this is how the schedule goes. We play Music City Open, off week. Dynamic Disc Open, off week. OTB Open, off week. Portland Open, Beaver State Fling, off week. Preserve, off week. Des Moines, off week. European Open, off week. I mean, we're literally almost doing tournament off, tournament off, tournament off.
Hey, let me tell you what's going on here. I know exactly.
Talk to me. I know exactly what's going on. What's happening?
They are favoring the schedule of the touring professional as far as van life, going from tournament to tournament. With that's what's going on. They're saying, okay, this is actually good because now you can play a tournament, drive the week, do whatever you're going to do, get to the next spot, and then practice, have a full week, do that, rinse, repeat the whole time. Here's what I don't like about it is not everybody is driving in a van. Most people are, and the van life people are going to come at me for sure.
Oh,
because I fly in and out. I fly in and out. That's what I like to do.
Mm-hmm.
This is tough for me because I'm going to fly in, fly out, fly in, fly out. There's no like in a row. I can't do like 3 tournaments in a row. Now, I'm going to ask you, because this might answer our question. How many people on tour actually live on tour the whole time?
Oh, like they don't have a house.
They have no house. They have no home life. How many people? Is it more than the whole entire tour? Like, is it majority? Yes, they live on tour.
Are we counting like parents' houses? Are we counting like some place that they call home, but they don't actually own?
No, I'm saying people who just don't go home. They go home.
Maybe 25%.
You think? I think it's higher. I think it's probably 70% of the tour lives on tour.
No, because I think there is a lot of people that like go to their parents or go to a friend, a family member.
Name them.
Gosh, I mean, you want to go?
That I know.
Really? You think it's that many?
I really do. I think
feel like most of the top people. Let's go down the world rankings here. This is the best way of doing this. Eagle has a house.
Yep.
Calvin has a house. Paul has a house. Simon has a house.
See,
Isaac.
But this is what you're doing. You're going through go past
Where
the
do you
top
want me to go?
15.
Where do you want me to go?
Go past the top 15.
You would go 25? Start 25?
Go to 20th.
20. All right.
Because all those guys are successful. They don't need it. They don't need to stay on tour. Lives on tour.
Kevin Jones.
Lives on tour. He has a house, but I don't think he goes home.
Chris Clemens.
Lives on tour.
Ben Calloway. He has a house.
He has a house, yep.
Adam Hammies.
Lives on tour. Does go home from time to time, though, but not often.
Ezra Aderhold goes home time to time, but not often. Marweed?
Would you consider Ezra and Adam on tour full time, though?
Yes. Yes.
Would you think that they would leave at a week at a time to go home and then back?
No.
Never going to happen.
They might do it once a season, maybe twice.
Or twice a season. Okay,
Yeah.
so Andrew Marweed lives on tour.
Conrad is on tour. Presnell?
On tour. The guy plays. He would never miss a week. He's going to be playing somewhere.
The Castro's on tour. Babcock. Yeah, I mean, you're okay. Yeah, the more I see what you're saying now. You're not saying necessarily like, do they have a place called like home? You're literally saying like, are these people saying, hey, I'm going home for a week? And the answer is no, they're not. No. They're staying out on tour.
Yeah.
So you think this is a good thing for them that they have this many weeks off?
No, I'm saying the thought I bet behind this is a schedule for these drivers to be able to get to spot without grinding themselves out. You get what I mean? So they can have a week of whatever. Maybe they want to run a clinic. Maybe they want to do whatever. And they're setting it up for the tour because most of the tour lives out of their van. I think. When you go up to the top, it's not the same because
you're right.
Those people do have a home life and do those things, but they also don't need to stay on tour to survive.
My other concern with this is like if I'm a paying Disc Golf Network subscriber,
yeah,
there could be some months where I get like 2 events. And that's it.
Well, they got rid of Silver Series.
No, I know, but I don't understand why there's so many. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying for the van people. I get that.
You think that's right, though? Do you think that's correct in their thought process, maybe?
Well, do you think, okay, well, whether it is or not, do you think should they be favoring those people, or should they be favoring the viewer, the fan? Should they be trying to create the best product possible? And to me, I think the best product possible is like, let's jam pack these tournaments in. Like we could have this season, if you eliminate half these weeks, right? You all of a sudden shorten the season by 2 months. We can go February to, what would that be? September?
Man, that would be awesome.
Yeah. And now we're like super jam packed in it. And then, I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting to me because the other thing is like in the future too, like top guys, they're already starting to do it. Top guys are going to choose tournaments off. They're not going to play every event. There will be some people that don't go out West Coast, right? They're going to be missing the OTB Open. They're going to be missing Portland. They're going to be missing Beaver State Fling. There are already people picking tournaments that they don't want to do. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know about the off week, man.
If it was up to me, I'm with you, man. I'd rather knock out 3 tournaments in a row.
Let's crank it out.
Go home for a little bit.
Yeah, let's crank it out, man. I think that's better for everyone. That would be my thing. Is it's better for everyone. All right, talking about the schedule, the Disc Golf Pro Tour announced today a brand new unified 2024 European Tour. This is going to be a connection between the Disc Golf Pro Tour and the European Pro Tour called DGPT Europe. Sick name.
Nailed it.
I'm curious how long they were in like the meeting rooms and boardrooms, being like, guys, what are we gonna call this thing? We got
just writing stuff down.
What do we got? All right. So these are the events we are going to be looking at in Europe next year. You've got the Copenhagen Open, May 10th through the 12th. You got the Turkey Open, June 14th through the 16th. You got the Swedish Open, June 28th through the 30th. You got the Krockhole Open, July 12th through the 14th. And then I'm not sure what the European Disc Golf Festival is. I don't think that's actually a tournament. I think that just is, I don't know what that is.
Got to be a tournament.
You think that is a tournament?
If it's on the schedule as a tournament, then yes. It says 2024 events. That's a tournament, my man.
Are we calling technically it could be an event and not a tournament, right? That's a weird name for a tournament. Festival?
Why would they have it as the European Disc Golf Festival? And it's going to be filmed because below it says the silver.
Maybe
will
it's
not be
filming.
on
Maybe
DGPT.
they're filming James Conrad dancing to music. I don't know, but when I see festival, I think of a festival event.
But it's a tournament.
Yeah. Okay. It says plus Europe silver events will be announced soon as well. So silver events, we kind of had an idea that this was going to happen because when they first came out and said there aren't going to be any silver events this year, they made it kind of a very apparent that they were talking about North American. So we all kind of knew like there were probably going to be some silver events on the
no PCS Sula, dude.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, man.
It's gonna be a silver, I bet.
Okay. Let's talk about points. How are points happening? So the Disc Golf Pro Tour Europe events, you're going to get 100 points for those. And then the silver event will be 50 points. So half. A couple questions here. What do you think is going to be the attendance for these events as far as stateside players and even Europeans? Because if you look at the dates, a lot of these are either during big tournaments on the stateside or they're right down in the middle between the two. And it's like, talk about like you flying home and then flying back for a tournament. Now you're talking about you flying to Europe for a tournament and then flying back to the States for a tournament. That sounds crazy.
I was thinking about the same thing. Like, would it be worth it to even go over there because it's such a bing bong, you're straight back doing the thing. I think I'm going to play the Copenhagen Open.
Okay. So you're going to go over just for that tournament and then come back?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. To me, I think the only one that really jumps out is the one that's in Oslo, Norway, the week before the European Open. So
I'm going to play that one too.
Yeah, similar to what I did for the Sula Open, which worked out really nicely.
There's also another one that's at the OTB Open weekend, I think. I'm going there.
You're out on the OTB Open?
I don't want to go. I don't want to go have a long drive contest in California again.
Don't make me go.
I'm good, dude.
Oh, man. That is funny.
To Europe. Let you guys battle it out.
This is another interesting one. Again, I keep coming back to the schedules, and maybe this might make a little bit more sense when they have the silvers flushed out in it. But to me, it's like if you're trying to get a big chunk, I would assume you're trying to get a big chunk of the American players over to these events.
I don't know if they are.
Oh, you don't think so?
I don't think so.
Okay, then never mind. Never mind.
I think they're just trying to come up with some way for the best Europeans, if they want to stay across the seas, then they have a place to compete. And if we want to go over there, similar to if they want to come over here.
Yeah. Okay. Fair. All right, let's jump into the Grippies recap. So like I said, the Grippies is the Grip Locked award show that they do every year. This was the second year.
Wait, let's go back 1 second.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think you will have lower tier player? It's crazy. It's a catch-22 because it's expensive to go over to Europe to travel.
Mm-hmm.
But it'd be a real easy way to get a tour card, I think.
Yes. If you are
I think
a
that's something we
kid that financially is stable and money isn't a problem, and you're like, I really want a tour card, you should play every single Europe event. The fields are going to be 3 times worse at the minimum, I would say. Especially the ones that are happening when
imagine if like James Conrad just
too.
went over there and played them all. He would finish top probably 8 in points for sure.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we literally saw it firsthand with Paul. Like Paul went over there and was able to do pretty well at most of the tournaments. And, he's been struggling at some of the tournaments when he was playing in the States. So it's just, it's a different animal, right? I just think they do have top players.
Would you go over there and play a couple extra if you needed to?
No.
I might.
That's too much travel.
Dude, I was go down over there. Here's the thing.
Oh, you're talking about like tour card? I hope I'm not worried about getting a tour card next year.
You're not, but making the finals is a big deal.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, that's why I went to some of the silver events this year. Was simply just to try to pick up some extra points.
So now there's no silver. We don't have to play silver. You can go over to Europe. You play these tournaments. You say, forget the ones in the States.
Yeah, my back gets so jacked up when I fly over the water, dude.
Yeah, but you're there for so long. You play those events. You're in. I'm just saying. It's not. Here's the thing. If I'm a me.
Yeah.
Okay, because I barely made it. And I probably shouldn't have made it. If I'm a me, which I am a me, this is fantastic. This is actually good because now I can actually think of what a me would do. And I would play a couple of events over there without a doubt.
Well, I'm going to play 2 at least.
No, I'm saying extra. Like, why would I play the OTB Open? Honestly, if you're thinking about it.
Well, I'm playing that. That was my best finish last year.
Why would you play? I'm talking about a me.
Oh, you. Yeah. Sorry.
Why would I play the OTB Open where I virtually have no shot of throwing it over the water like 9 times when I could go over to Europe and play a similar event against, you said it, 3 times less the field?
But how many me's have the money to be able to do something like that? Because that's a lot of money. That's a lot of commitment.
That's what I was saying before. That's a lot of money. But listen, so is it. How much is a tour card worth? Let's just think about it. How much is a tour card worth right now in our sport? I don't think you can technically put a value on it. You can put a expected value. Like there is not expected what's the word I'm looking for? How much do you think somebody who would pay for a tour card play all the events? Like if you sold
don't
one.
know. That would be a very good question to ask.
A company can be like, here's a tour card, this is how much it is, and then you can give it to whatever player ever.
I guess we'll have to have our listeners let us know. Because I'm actually really curious with people listening what they would pay to be able to play at every event.
Because it's not like it used to be. Like you can't just play these events.
No, you can't. No, I mean look at Scott Stokely. Like Scott Stokely struggled his first year coming back. He struggled to get into events, and I think he just didn't want to have to go through that again. And so he left, and he's doing like a whole international tour. Like it's not easy to get in these things. No, it's not. I mean, you have to. Some people are having a Monday qualify into them.
That's what I'm saying. To a kid, here's what I'm saying. We're getting to a point where there's kids out there who are practicing their butts off and who are trying to make it somehow to get on the tour.
Mm-hmm.
It is a tough road, my friend. But if you can go over to Europe, which is actually what happens in traditional golf too.
Mm-hmm.
You can go over to Europe, softer fields, make a name. That's what Brooks Koepka did.
Yep.
Make a name for yourself, get your tour card for the Pro Tour, and then get in. Otherwise, here's the thing. You got 75 players. As the sport progresses over those are going to be locked in with the 75 people who are on tour. It's going to be tough to get them.
Mm-hmm. No, it will. I mean, what we are seeing right now and how hard it is to get into the Tour Championship, we're only a few years away of that being the narrative of how hard it is to get a tour card.
Yes.
And that's
100% agree.
That's when it will really start hitting home, is when names that you are familiar with aren't on tour next year and are having to try to qualify into events. That's when it'll really, really happen. So
100%.
All right, let's move on to the Grippies. So let's jump into the very first Grippy, and that was the breakout player of the year. So I'm going to give you the nominees, and then we're going to see if there's anyone that should also be nominated that it wasn't, and then I'll say the winner, and then we'll discuss on what we think. So breakout player of the year for the 2023 Disc Golf Pro Tour season. The nominees are Isaac Robinson, Aaron Gossage, and Cole Redolin. So I think Parker Welk is a snub. I think when you come out of absolutely nowhere and you win a big event like he did, I think that deserves a nomination for breakout player of the year. I think you could make a case for a Matty O, right? Someone that has been on the
knocking on the door,
cusp for winning for so long, and then he finally breaks out and gets one at a major playoff event. I think there's a case for Matty O. Trying to think.
I have the person who got snubbed.
What's that?
Sure. I think it's pretty simple. I think it's Anthony Barilla. I think he was the breakout player of the year, and I don't think it's really that close anywhere else, because you look at his statistics from the prior year, they're not. It's like I can look at them actually.
No, you're really right. Like previous years, the storyline around AB was, hey, this guy's got potential. This guy could win. This guy can get there sometime. But he would always like fall apart after having a great first round. He'd fall apart in round two. He never really got into contention. He didn't win this year, but I agree with you. He got his name in there multiple times at multiple big events. So I don't hate that at all.
Yeah, I mean, looking down at his, like last year, he made $29,000, 28 tournaments. That's pretty good. But he played like he got 21st at the Las Vegas Challenge, 20th at Jonesboro, 24th at the Dynamic Disc Open. I'm not going to count the silver. OTB he did well.
Around.
Yeah, 4th at OTB. Then he went 29th again, 48th, 4th at Ledgestone, so very good tournament. 12th at True Bank, 7th at Worlds, but then he goes 28th, 30th, and then the United States Disc Golf Championship 21st. I mean, or 13th and then 21st at the Barbasol finale. This year, dude, he blew those numbers out of the water. What did he make? How much money did he make this year? I bet you close to
40.
I bet over 60,000.
Really? Wow.
He made so 29 tournaments, $57,000.
Wow.
So that's double the year he had. Same amount of tournaments, double the year as far as winnings. And we saw him not almost, but take top 10 in every event, in every major except for the United States Disc Golf Championship. So
yeah, he's definitely, I definitely think I don't know if I would give him the award, but he definitely should be a nominee for sure. They gave the award to Cole Redolin, and I could see that too, because he was also that kid that we saw have flashes last year of where he would pop off and we were like, who is this kid? And then he was able to put it together at one of the toughest events of the year. So I can see their line of thinking.
Who's more popular this year?
I don't know. I don't know necessarily if that's what this award
It's a
really
breakout
is.
player. Like the guy blew up on the scene and is now one of the more popular players that we know in disc golf, period. That's a breakout player to me. He did it in every aspect, not only on the course, but I feel like.
Yeah, but like my argument would be like everyone already knew who AB was previous to this year.
So then how did you think that they thought of him the same way the previous year that he does?
No. I think now he has. Sorry, let me press that. I think people knew who he was, but he has a lot more fans now. He has a lot more people rooting for him now. A lot more people have taken a liking to him. But someone like Cole Redolin, I think a lot of people probably didn't really know who that was as well as AB. That would be my take on it. But
AB has been around a lot longer for sure.
Yeah, and then his connection with Paul and all that stuff, you know. On the FPO side, I don't really have. They have Macy Valdez, Ali Smith, Saya Ananda. I'm trying to think of someone else. I mean, I guess you could throw the girl at throw pink, Ellie Ezra. I guess you could throw her kind of into the mix, right?
What about Merch?
Yeah, Cat Merch isn't a bad one. Merch isn't a bad one. Definitely a player that you really were like, well, you know, she's kind of got the big personality. She's out there, but she's not really ever going to win. And then, you know, she pulled it off. So I could see that. They ended up giving it to Ali Smith, who took down the silver event in Kansas City. That one's a tough one because I think there were a lot of FPO players that kind of.
Isn't she the one that hit that sick ace too?
I think so. Yeah. At Worlds, the big turnover. Yeah. And she just like sprinted up, fist bumping.
Yeah, that was so cool.
All right. Next award is their Fire Fest of the year. So if you don't know what Fire Fest is, go to Netflix or go to Google and type in Fire Fest. And he's actually making another festival right now. So hopefully that goes over well. But Fire Fest of the year, you don't necessarily want this award. If you're nominated, you do not want to win this award. So the first nominee were the trophies. The trophies from this season, that was nomination number 1. The second nominee was the Prodigy lawsuit versus Gannon Burr at the beginning of the season. And then the final nominee was actually the Disc Golf Pro Tour lawsuits that caused some major issues. People thought maybe the FPO was just going to go away. A lot of speculation around there. And the winner was the Prodigy lawsuit versus Gannon Burr. I think that is the Fire Fest of the year. When that happened, I mean, the reaction online to it, people, like if you go to any of the Prodigy's Instagram, Twitter, any of those, the comments were going nuts. It was something that was definitely, and I think it was covered pretty well too. So a lot of people had an idea of what was actually going on. I think that's a worthy winner.
Don't have any problem with it. And now they signed an NHL brand deal. They're back, baby.
They're freaking back. Next one, most improved. You have Prodigy's brand image, kind of what you just talked about.
Oh, wow.
You have Aaron Gossage, and then you have yourself, Paul Louberry. Most improved? Yeah. You actually ended up winning. They actually gave you this award, so they will be sending you a nice. It's actually a pretty sweet award, so you will be getting serious? It. Yeah, you did win. You are a Grippy winner. I can see kind of like I feel like most improved is. To me, I don't think you're like most improved. To me, I think you're more like the comeback player of the year. Like that makes more sense because you were like down and out at the beginning and then you came back. Most improved to me is like someone that was in the, like a Robert Burridge is someone that kind of like pops out to me as like most improved, right? Someone
or
that
AB who doubled his money this year.
Sure,
that's a pretty big improvement.
You could throw AB in there. I'm trying. Like Aaron Gossage is a good one too. Like he had a couple decent tournaments last year, but like he was in the mix a lot this year as well. Like he really improved his game overall. So this is a little bit of a weird one, but you won the award, so it'll be coming in the mail.
Here we go. Improvement, baby.
FPO, you have.
I can't wait for them to send me the same award again next year. That's gonna be so cool. Remember this moment, Brodie.
FPO, you have Cat Merch, Holland Hanley, and Haley King for most improved. I think Holland Hanley ended up winning it. I think that's a good one.
That's good. Yep.
I don't have any problems with that. I think that makes a whole lot of sense. All right, next
have to go watch these now.
Next category, yeah, it's one of my favorite episodes of Grip Locked all year. Next category is longest podcast. Okay, longest podcast. Smashbox is nominated. We are nominated.
Sweet.
And Dustin's turn on debate night. If you listen to debate night, Dustin does like to take his time answering some questions on there.
Dustin won.
We won. We are the Grippy winner, baby.
Let's go.
Let's go. Longest podcast.
I'm putting it right there. Right there. Wait. You can't see this. You can see this.
You got it. Yeah. Size got you.
I'm putting it right there, baby.
We had some long ones this year. We had some absolute long podcasts, and we appreciate everyone that listens from the beginning to the very, very end.
You know what? I was thinking we need to have Tear Bear on.
Oh, no, 1,000%. Yeah.
I would love to have Terry on here. And Johnny V, honestly. The OG podcast guys in disc golf. I'd love to have a conversation of what that's been like over the last freaking 20 years or whatever they've been doing.
We just kind of jumped into it and started. They have kind of seen the ebbs and flows of media of where, like, I'm sure they remember when they were starting, they maybe had like 10 people listening, right? Or 20 people when they first started. And now they've got thousands. So that would be very, very interested. So our first Grippy, let's freaking go. Player of the year, Kristen Tatar. No brainer. And then for MPO, they had Isaac Robinson, Calvin Heimberg, and Gannon Burr. Obviously, they took it to a vote. 2 people voted for Isaac Robinson. 1 person voted for Calvin Heimberg. So they ended up giving it to Isaac Robinson. I'm okay with it because I think this is literally just an interpretation of what you think player of the year is.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the two. Mm-hmm. It's pretty obvious. It's a pretty obvious race.
Yeah.
And it's
just
close.
how you interpret it.
I think it's close. I don't think it's a landslide victory. So it's okay.
For sure.
That's fine with me.
For sure. All right. Best shot of the year. Okay. Best shot of the year. Some of these are very interesting. They've got Jared Stoll's thumber on hole 17 at Waco.
Cool.
So he went up and over the corner.
Yeah, he does that every year.
Yeah. Ended up throwing it into circle for one of the rounds that were caught on camera. Calvin Heimberg's double throw-ins at D-Glow. That round was insane.
Wild.
He had the crazy one where the really freaking hard par 4, just baskets on lockdown. He was going nuts. And then we have Simon Lazat's OB throw at D-Glow as well on hole 16 when he just juiced it OB and then had the tap in par. I don't think that's really one of the shots of the year. And then they left it off at Calvin Heimberg's ace on hole 10 at Ledgestone.
Okay.
That was a 6 shot as well. What are some other shots that pop out at you this year? Is there anything else can you think of? I think obviously, recency bias, you have Ricky's putt at the Tour
16.
Championship. Right. That,
maybe even a Corey Ellis, even though it was a short little putter shot to make the island. That's a big time. That's 16. A big time throw. That's a big time throw and a big time moment. Chaos going everywhere. Or even his shot on 17, buzz to 2 feet.
Yeah, you could almost do every tee shot of Isaac Robinson at Champions Cup.
Yes,
pretty much every single one of those.
Every shot that he threw. That was pretty good.
All of those.
All of Conrad's shots when he shot 17 under.
Yeah. Let us know what you guys think, what your favorite shot was, because I think this is a very interesting one. I think some people might have some good gems that we might have forgotten about.
Yeah.
Next category, best performance of the year. We have Haley King's MVP Open performance. We have Kristen Tatar winning all 4 majors. And we have Missy Gannon's final round at the Tour Championship. This is, again, kind of a no-brainer. Goes to Kristen Tatar's all 4 majors. I don't think you can have a better performance than that. That might be the best of the best.
Honestly, I don't know why Haley King's freaking performance is in there. That was awful.
Yeah, she
It was. Listen, big Haley King fan. That battle was a battle. It was a bogey battle.
That was just like, who was not going to make a mistake?
It was crazy. Like at one point she was 6 over par and 7 back of Kristen, and then brought it now to come back, maybe like a comeback performance or something. Mm-hmm. But I mean, yeah, sorry. Anyways.
No, that's a good one. All right. On the MPO side, we have Isaac Robinson at Worlds. We have Parker Welk at DDO. We have Ricky Wysocki final round of the Tour Championship. We have Isaac Robinson at Champions Cup. Those were their
Champions Cup. That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
I think you could have also given it to you mentioned it earlier, James Conrad's round at Jonesboro, 17 under. I think Matty O's final round at MVP, where he just made like 10 birdies or something in the row to get all the way up into first place. I think there's a couple other rounds that you can throw in there, but what Isaac did at Champions Cup, he made that look like a pitch and putt course, and it is anything but.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Nuts.
I mean, Ricky did that on the Pro Tour Championships, though, man. That shouldn't be done out there, bro.
That is also true. He did shred that course as well. This is okay. Next one, we have clutch moment of the year. Clutch moment of the year. So this is where they threw in Mattio's final round at MVP. They have Kristen Tatar at U.S. Women's, simply just because going into the major, she knows that she has to win this to kind of complete the Grand Slam. And then you have Ricky Wysocki's Tour Championship putt on hole 16. I'm trying to think of like some other clutch things. I mean, I think Corey Ellis, what he was able to do down the stretch. I look at like someone like Parker Welk, some of those holes that he was able to conquer, you know, going down the didn't he throw that like crazy stall backhand on 16? Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He threw that crazy like nose up stall backhand that made the island. So he clutched up there. Did anyone make any like crazy putts to force a playoff or anything? I'm trying to remember if there was anything like that where it was like, you have to make this putt. Nothing really pops out.
How about
Sinanda, Texas State's is
Klein,
good.
Final round USCGC before he took like a 25 or whatever. Mm-hmm. That was kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, Adam. That's a good one. Adam, Bobby just chatted in. Adam's putt on hole 18 at Portland. That was huge. That was a massive putt. Yeah, very clutch. So they ended up giving that one, obviously, to Kristen Tatar as well. Because that probably did have the most pressure going into that tournament.
She should win all these awards.
Yeah. One of their favorite categories is the best friend of the show. So this is just people that have interacted with Grip Lock throughout the year, and people that, you know, send them DMs, let them know how they're doing, let them know that they listen, they love it. So you have Eric Oakley, big kind of like podcast, disc golf fanatic kind of guy.
Think he watches our stuff?
I don't know if he watches our stuff. I know he watches Grip Lock though. Okay. I don't know about our stuff. Cole Rodolin, that was the big Chick-fil-A bet. If you go back in time,
I remember that.
He actually did say in a message that he used the Chick-fil-A bet going into the final round to motivate him to win. So that was a big one. And then the winner goes to Simon Lizotte. I think obviously he's been a big part of this show. He's come on here multiple times. He also sends Grip Locked. They sends Hunter and Trevor a lot of stuff over there as well. So best friend of the show goes to Simon Lizotte. All right, last two. Here we go. Biggest choke of the year. I don't know why they saved this for second to last.
It's like their favorite one.
But the biggest choke of the year, the nominees are Kevin Jones at LVC. I don't buy it, but they are convinced that he choked and he like laid up and didn't play properly towards the end. And I'm not buying that. You have the Europeans at the President's Cup. They started off hot. I also am not really buying this one either because this was simply just the FPO. When the FPO had more weight, like their matches mattered more because there was less matches and they were more involved. That's where the Europeans looked like they could potentially win. And then as soon as they made it to where like, oh, now the FPO is just like 2 matches out of the 13, it didn't really matter. FPO won all the European FPO matches. They won every single one. So I'm not buying that one either. And then the biggest joke of the year winner is the entire league card at MVP Open.
I like that. That's true.
They were like 6 holes behind everyone. Way out of it. Mattio's like signing, like he's already signing championship discs. And yeah, that was the biggest choke of the year. The one that they're missing that I think is pretty obvious is AB at European Open.
Yeah.
I think that was probably should have been the winner, right? He had, I can't remember exactly how many. I think he probably had 2 chances, right? He missed the first. I think if he gets on the second, maybe if he even gets on the third, I think he might still be okay. I think you could look at that one. Someone mentioned Goose at OTB Open. Or no, at OTB Open. I think Goose ended up missing several putts inside of circle that final round.
8 putts out of 9 holes he missed in the circle.
And Emerson Keith ended up going on to win that one. So there's a couple chokes, and everyone loves talking about biggest choke of the year. So let us know what you guys thought. On the FPO side, I'm not going to read all the nominees. I'm literally just going to read the winner. It's Ella Hansen at Waco. You can't throw that disc out of bounds on hole 16. You cannot throw a disc in the parking lot on hole 16 when you have that big of a lead. And so she was this close to winning it very early on in the season too.
Yeah.
And, I think she's going to be in contention for a lot of these tournaments coming up. And sometimes you have to lose really bad like that to kind of pick yourself back up and get going again. Final category of the Grippies goes to the podcast of the year. This is the big one. This is the one that everyone wants to win. And the nominees are In the Bag, which is the podcast from All Business Brad and Robbie C. Then you have Bards of the Board, which is a board game podcast by Robbie C. and Jason. A lot of Robbie C. bias here. Then you have Flexline Trivia, which I believe only had 2 episodes, which is a Robbie C. trivia podcast with 2 episodes. That got nominated. And then, of course, you have Grip Locked. And Grip Locked has now won back-to-back podcast of the years. So shout out to them, back-to-back podcast of the years. Do I feel like we got snubbed as I kick the camera and I show the professionalism of, look at this. I'm moving the camera with my foot right there. Look at that. Boom. Back in the middle. Could Grip Lock do that? Could Hunter and Trevor do that with their feet? I don't think so.
Were we even nominated?
No nominated. Not nominated. So I feel like Tour Life got snubbed for podcast of the year. Should we have won? I don't know. Right? To me, I think that's up to the fans. I think we should have been nominated.
That's tough. That's a tough one. When you brought that up, I was expecting like, oh, dude, I might get 2 Grippies. I might be able to put 2 back there. Maybe I would have 3.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I'm gonna feel like we got snubbed a little bit there.
I'm gonna agree with you, but that's okay. Hey, congratulations to them.
Hey, we'll work harder next year. You know, that's what we're gonna do. We will work harder next year.
I grind, man.
Yeah. All right, we got some listener questions. Some of my favorite questions. Here we go. Let's jump into them, baby. I feel like we should almost have like a listener questions. Bow chicka wow wow. Maybe that's not. That's definitely not the right song. That's definitely not the right song. No,
I hear what you're.
You know what I'm saying? Some sort of song. All right. First one is coming from a Tour Life crew member, Jacob Warden. He asks on Discord, what's a secret/unknown cool talent of you or Uli's outside of disc golf? A secret or unknown cool talent of you or Uli's outside of disc golf?
Man.
You want me to go first? I don't know if it's like really that. I don't know. I don't know if it's
a talent.
I'm very good at almost every single game at Dave & Buster's. Like almost every, like you do the Kung Fu Panda where I'm up there grabbing all the little rice balls. Really freaking good at that. You put me in front of that ring thing or the light thing where the lights turn on and you got to hit them. I'm disgusting at that. Give me the ring toss. Give me skee ball. Give me pop a shot. Give me any sort of game at Dave & Buster's. I feel pretty confident that I'm getting the high score. So that would be my weird unknown talent. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if that's a good answer, but that's what I have.
I don't even know what my talent would be, Brodie. I'm a boring guy.
I mean, you did say dancing at the beginning of this show that you wanted to be in the Super Bowl show.
If it gets me in the Super Bowl, man, I can dance. I'll dance it up.
Yuli's a sick dancer. If you see Uli, next time you see Uli, ask him to bust a move for you.
Hey, you know what? You know what? I do consider myself a really, really, really good tournament poker player.
Yes, that is true. You are good at poker. I have heard that from others as well.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's probably my hidden talent.
Don't see Uli on the tables, man. He'll take you for everything you got. Give me those pink slips, brother. All right. This is also coming from another Tour Life crew member on the Discord from Tomatoes. With the new Disc Golf Pro Tour Europe, there are 5 elite series over there now counting towards Disc Golf Pro Tour points. The first 3 likely being weak fields due to conflicts with popular U.S. events. Would you consider leaving for Europe early and hitting the Turku and Swedish Opens for the easier points, but miss the Preserve and the DMC? So this is kind of just a direct question. We kind of were talking about it back and forth, but now we have a direct question. Are you willing to miss the Preserve and DMC for the Turku and Swedish Open?
No.
My answer would also be no. Preserve, big fan of what they do out there. Yeah. Don't want to miss that one. And then DMC is like one of my favorite events of the year.
That's the place I qualify for USDGC every single year. I love that place.
Preserve or DMC?
No, DMC.
I love DMC, dude. Yeah. I freaking love it.
And then Hunter, remember when Hunter, was it Hunter or was it Trevor who said that I wasn't, last year I wasn't making the US championships.
Oh, really? I can't remember. I'll have to ask them.
I don't know who it was.
I'll have to ask them.
Hey, I'll never forget.
They got rid of hole 16 too, apparently. Hole 16 is gone. That was the worst hole in the course. Now I don't think there's a bad hole now.
The place is awesome, yeah.
All right. This is coming from our Discord as well. This is from Colton. What is some change that has happened or changed in the sport these past few years that has surprised you the most?
Payouts, probably, for me.
Okay.
I think the payouts have gotten really especially at the top, people are getting. I wouldn't have thought that multiple people in a year could make $100,000, and that's happening all the time now. I think that surprised me big time. Nothing else really surprised me.
I would say like people jumping up on the media, like being in the media side of things, seeing how people are getting more involved and more interested and more invested in what's going on in disc golf. I love seeing that, and I'm surprised that it's taking off as fast as it is doing, because a lot of times that's kind of a slow burn. So that would be my answer. All right, Ripcore wants to know, what are your thoughts, and he made sure that it was plural, so he wants multiple, on the European silver events. Who would be the target players for those events? What can be learned from silver events in the US? So who are they targeting at these European silver events, Uli?
They're just targeting the people in Europe. I think now they actually have a tour to go to. And I'm guessing now that it's DGTP endorsed, the payouts are going to be better. One thing you got to look at in Europe over the last few years is their payouts have just been absolutely garbage. Like from tournament to tournament. The Euro Tour has not been able to pay the traveling professional disc golfer over there. That's one of the big reasons I feel like a lot of them came over here in recent years, is because they couldn't make a living over there. So if you could see these guys have enough tournaments that are similar payouts to here, they won't be coming over to the States. I wouldn't. That's what I think.
Or wouldn't be coming over as much, right? Maybe for the majors.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, coming over and playing like all of the tournaments. Now they don't have to. Yeah.
Bo Mallet on Twitter wants to know, why is my walk-up bad? What questions are we supposed to ask ourselves approaching the tee pad? I love this question. What should be going in our heads? What should be the little voice in our heads saying to us as we are approaching the tee pad? Silence? Is that the answer?
Yeah, you just have to be like zened out, dude. You go. I got a good answer for it, but you go ahead. I want to hear what you say.
I think you just want to kind of reiterate to yourself, like, what is the goal here? Like, what are you trying to accomplish? Focus on the goal and not focusing on, I don't want to throw it in the water. I don't want to throw it OB. I don't want to miss short. Just focus on your line, focus on your angle, and then just let your body do the work.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. It's pretty easy. Your routine should have your things that you need. Like one of my things is give myself enough room.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to one of my big problems is I get to the end of the tee pad too quick, and then I end up early releasing or late releasing because I run out of room. So my first checkpoint this year was give myself enough room. Where's my line? What kind of shot do I want to throw? Throw some. How far is it, and what's the wind doing? And then just go.
Takeout wants to know wiping direction and grip. I'm assuming this is in regards to a wet disc. Otherwise, I have to disregard this question. But
I don't know what that means at all. So anyway, okay.
If I have a frisbee, do you have a frisbee over there? All right, Silas is gonna grab me a frisbee real quick. So this is what I think the question is you're playing 7 o'clock in the morning. It's a little dewy outside. You go and you pick up your disc. This is what I do. I grip it with my left hand, and then I have the towel in my, I grip it in my right hand. I have the towel in my left. I go here, and then I rotate clockwise. That is how I dry my disc. Is that how do you dry your disc?
Is that what he means? Wiping your disc? What if he means
wiping direction?
What if he's
and
just
grip?
stealing? What if he's just stealing everybody's disc and wiping their names off?
Maybe. When I read that, that's initially what I thought. But then I was like, wait a second.
Wiping your disc? Yeah, I do the same thing. You just I'm so lazy sometimes. It depends on how if it's super rainy, I just do a little one spot. Whoop, 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 and then everything's else wet, and then get after it.
All right, Jared Graves here. In a sport where used equipment can be more valuable than new, how much does a seasoned bag factor into a pro switching sponsors? It seems pros will spend a lot of time, money retrieving a lost disc they've had for a few years, or try to find a beat-in disc from others after switching.
Well, Brodie's never had to do this.
Yeah, I can't answer this. You can answer this much better than me.
It's a big time difference. It's a big time difference. It really is. You fall in love with well, at least for me, I've fallen in love with certain discs to where I have gotten back even years after playing with certain discs. I won't say which ones. I get to a hole and I remember being like, wow, that disc is perfect for this hole, and I don't have it. Like that's still there's a disc that I remember from 2010 to 2011 that I ended up losing that I still think about to this day. I'm not kidding. It was the greatest disc I've ever had. I'm not saying what it was, but
I don't have enough history yet because all the discs that I like remember that I'm like, oh my God, I used to throw great shots with these. If I try to throw them now, they're absolute garbage because the way I threw
this disc was nuts, dude.
The way I used to throw is way different.
Than every disc that I've ever had, both ways, sidearm, backhand. It was clutch. This disc was clutch, dude. It had a personality. It was the bag captain. It never messed up, and I left it.
Oh no! Oh, you didn't even lose it. You
I know.
Left
I know where I left it. I remember the shot till this day. It was hole 4. When you start out at spinners at the Memorial, hole 4, threw a big hyzer, left it.
No.
Left it, dude.
Oh. Yeah, I threw my clear get freaky into some of these pine trees today. And let me tell you, I really wish I could have just been like, I don't care. But it's like, no, I need to get that disc back. And it cost me. It cost me dearly. It sucked.
Time.
No, these pine trees were vicious.
Yeah.
Vicious pine trees. And lacerations, man.
That's true.
Lacerations.
Yeah, I think, okay, so what is that disc? If I lost my black zone or my Uli ringer, which I actually did, and a guy replaced it, it was devastating, man. If I lost my black zone right now, I don't know what I would do.
Be tough, man. You'd have a couple months to try to figure it out.
So yeah, it's pretty. Listen, you can do it. You can switch, and it's fine, and it takes time. But yeah, you definitely have a connection with the bag that you've been putting in hours and hours of work on.
We also have to do like covert. You gotta go covert and go to fields in the middle of the day so no one can see what disc you're throwing, so they can leak. Where you're ending up going. So, all right, next one we got Cameron Chronister. Now that you've seen the results of the previous offseason, is this next offseason going to be similar? You both worked more on body than game, but assuming you're both healthy, is this offseason different? Uli.
Yeah, I don't know what he was talking about working on body last offseason. I took the whole offseason off completely, pretty much. No, that's a Brodie thing. No, I have things every offseason that I'd like to work on, honestly. One of the things this offseason that I would really like to work on is circle 2 putting, which is really easy for me to work on. That's it. I want to get a little more distance, really easy to work on. You just go throw as hard as you can. Actually, I just had Ezra help me out this last week with some distance stuff.
Yeah.
So those 2 things, that's not the tough part. Like the tough part is the biggest thing I struggled with this whole year was getting angry at unlucky stuff that happened. I lost my marbles multiple times. Like I couldn't deal with it. And I think it's because I knew I didn't like put in enough work for it to deserve better results. And so then when I got bad results that didn't seem fair, it irked me even more, maybe like an insecurity type thing. But it really hurt the first half of my season to where I let it get to me in a very, very negative way. And I would love to approach disc golf as shots are just shots. They're good and they're bad, and there's no feeling attached to them until it's really important. That's my goal.
It's a great goal. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be doing very similar fitness stuff this off season. I'm probably going to lose another 30 pounds or so. That just seems to be what happens. But I'm going to be playing a lot of disc golf. I think last year I had some major back issues coming into the off season. And so I really didn't want to put any more stress on that. Where this year, I think all the work I did in the preseason allowed me to kind of get through the season a lot healthier. So I'm feeling a lot better now than I was at the end of last off season. So I'll be able to play and kind of keep up with it and keep going from there. So, shout out to Slang and Dis. Wow, our first gifted. He just gifted 5 podcast memberships. Slang and Dis coming in clutch. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you, brother. Bud. All right, final question. Here we go, folks. This is from C Tyler UF. Yep, he has a gator. Come on, Brodie, put it together. Got a gator mascot. Come on. Just a thought. Of the list of all free agents this offseason, could the craziest sponsorship deal be a non-touring player? Any chance Climo signs a deal with a disc manufacturer? Any chance it wouldn't be Innova? I thought this was an absolutely fascinating question. Could there be a chance that someone swoops in and takes Climo?
I don't think so. For what? What would he have to gain from it?
Oh, you're saying what would he have to gain from it? Money?
Yeah.
I mean,
money. Well, what would they? So then, what would they have to gain from it?
They get to use his name. They get to use his likeness and his notoriety and all that. Him being back in the
he's not going to be
the
playing,
scene,
and so
he won't be playing. But
and so is his brand. All right. So is his brand with his name away from Innova as powerful as it is with Innova?
I don't know. I think a lot of times, someone in the right spot, and you see this a lot in like sports, like team sports, where someone is like they're in some sort of team environment. It's just not working. And everyone's just like, oh, this guy sucks. And then you take him out of that environment and you put him in a better environment, one that is going to put him towards succeeding. And then all of a sudden you're just like, holy cow, this guy's incredible. I think that can be the same thing when it comes to like branding and sponsorships. Like I think certain players, if they get linked up with the right manufacturer, the right branding, the right promotion, can be a lot more beneficial than if there was someone else. And so I'm not sure. Could he go to any disc manufacturer and it'd be like, yeah, this is going to be amazing? I don't think so. But I think there could be one out there that if they had the right idea, I think you could use Climo in a lot of stuff to really help your brand. Yeah. Now the question is, would he do that? I don't know about that, but
that is a good question.
It is a fascinating one.
Yeah.
That would be crazy. All right, a little housekeeping here before we say sayonara to all of our friends. Tour Life crew, we're still going strong. Again, thank you to everyone. We just got 5 new ones just from the gifted. That was awesome. Spotify, we are over 600 reviews. We are moving up. Over 600 reviews on Spotify. We've got 157 on Apple. So if you're listening to us on either Spotify or Apple and you like what you hear, please drop us a review. We really appreciate it. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., I'm headed into the warehouse with All Business Brad. I'm sitting down. I've got the applications for the Tour Life job. I'm going through the applications. I'm going through the submissions that we sent them, some like photos and videos for them to edit so I can kind of see their creativity side. I'm going to be going through those, and then we're going to be setting up some interviews. So we're getting very close. I know this is a long process, but we want to make sure that we find the right person. So we're doing it accordingly. Uli, you got anything else for the people?
I don't, man.
All right. Hey, that was a good show. Thanks, everyone. Silas, thank you, brother. The Grippies, Tour Life, longest podcast. It wasn't long tonight, only probably an hour and 35 minutes. But hopefully it was an entertaining hour and 35 minutes to each and every one of you. Uli, have yourself a good week, and we'll see you guys next week.